Hi, and welcome back to the stream of the regional in Frankfurt today. 144 players, 8 rounds. We're starting with round 2 soon. And our next featured match is Henri Dopheide versus Jonas Koschel.
What a funny coincidence, right?
Yeah, again, two E-Men members. And yeah, they came to Frankfurt together. And now they have to face each other.
Yeah, and it's so funny because you before round one even you said, let's feature Henri Dopheide or Jonas Koschel at some point, and now our technic supportive guy just told us the first name Henri Dopheide, and you were like, okay, you probably took Henry now, and then he was
Yeah.
like, yeah, he's playing against Jonas Koschel, so we get both of them in the same featured match.
Yeah, I talked to them
Pretty nice.
yesterday and I was like, yeah, hopefully I will comment on a game you are playing, but I didn't think of them both playing against each other. So yeah, they're starting. And
Yep.
I know if they didn't change their deck choice, that Henry is playing Thunder Drakes. Yeah, we see the Thunder
Yep.
Drake
Yes.
already.
OG
And
Thunder Dragon.
Jonas is playing Orcust.
That's a nice matchup right there.
Yeah.
And going second for Orcus, not too bad of a thing because they can put up pretty well boards, can go through a lot of stuff. And there is danger Tsuchinoko. Good old snack. Snack, snack,
Oh,
snack.
you're faster than me. Ah, okay. Now I see. Sushi no
Oh,
Ko.
and he hits the danger as
Okay.
the Thunder Dragon, which is always pretty good, of course. You're searching
Okay.
them because you want to discard them with dangers, obviously. And yeah, Henry Dopheide actually kind of a new addition to the E-Man Games
Yeah.
roster, but already performing pretty well under the new team. I think
Just to
he
mention, two former Team Trend members.
ooh, that's true, that's true. Keeping the
So
glory up for Team
they
Trent.
always test together. They know what their opponent's deck looks like.
Yeah.
So very interesting to see this match.
Yeah, and obviously you are a former Team Trent member as well, so you
Yeah.
have feelings for them, of course, part of your family in some way.
Well, I'm
And
rooting for nobody, but considering the deck choice, I'm more interested in seeing Orcust with the new cards. They
yeah,
got
of
the
course, of course.
Gearsu in Dark Neostorm, and they got their counter trap card.
Yep. Some
Oh,
new
very
additions
nice.
to the deck. A different way of playing the deck it is now because they obviously lost Azathoth as we talked about it
Yeah,
before round one. Or they didn't lose Azathoth, but they lost the rank up spell, which makes
yeah.
it a whole lot harder for them to summon Azathoth. Basically impossible for Orcus decks. So, Vollhorst76 in the chat says, Junge, Henry hat wie immer alles.
Yeah,
Translating that
he
into
has
English is,
everything.
he always has everything. As
But
always.
you have to remember, Jonas also has everything all the time. So let's see.
Oh,
Yeah,
but
he starts very well.
definitely, he has potentially full combo right there because um he had solar and a lot of dangers, and he must be able to go very very far in his combo right there.
Okay. We can get a brief look into Jonas' hand. I can see the
It looked like
Neospatian Dolphin, and
Twin
I
Twister.
see
Yeah,
Twin
it is Twin
Twisters and
Twister.
a trap card.
Oh wow, he's
Oh, okay,
scooping.
he scoops. He scoops. That was a fast game one.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
nice. That
Henry
was
was about
tough.
to go into the Guard Dragon combo. It's insane.
Yeah,
Still
and I mean,
exists.
Jonas knows. I mean, against some players, you're like, okay, let him ruin his own combo. Let
Yeah,
him try to ruin what he's trying to build up there. But he knows that Henry knows his shit, and he's just able to perform that combo pretty well because he has done that in the past. And there was a pretty big regional in the Netherlands, I think, where Henry topped. I remember seeing the deck profile of him there, going
all
top
right.
8. I don't really know what the name of the town was, but it was a smaller town in the Netherlands.
Mm.
But he definitely performed well there, and it was around 200 players, so it was a big regional for sure. Of course, Leonard König jumping right in and going for the 21st night of September. Do
Do
you
you
remember that?
remember? Yeah, of course.
Of course, of course. No,
I still remember Leonard singing last Thursday, right? with all the song references, like "Do You Remember?" or yeah, so many more. It's
Yeah, over the course of the last year, where I had the pleasure to cast quite a few games with Leonard, there has been some singing involved, I have to say, for sure. Definitely. Oh yeah, and it was in Elst. Nice, yeah, Elst regional it was. And so Henry, kind of taking Jonas the opportunity away to get more words. Do you think that it is really unfortunate for the two guys that they have to play against each other in round 2, right?
It
Because
seems like another game that would also be possible in round 8. Very competitive players at the moment.
yeah, as it was in round 1, it's so funny that we had two E-Man Games mirror matches so far. E-Man Games just ruling the round 1 and 2 featured matches. That's a good sign, I have to say.
Okay, someone in the chat says that Eugen got a game loss for last round. We talked to the judge during the break, and actually, so the situation for newer viewers is Eugen activated Pot of Extravagance at the start of main phase 1, and after you activated Extravagance, you are not allowed to draw any more cards for effects this turn, but he activated Demise later. So they also played 1 or 2 minutes after that, and then the judge interrupted, gave Eugen a warning, and Eugen scooped then. So he just conceded and went into game 2.
Yeah, technically not a game lost, but
yeah,
he just decided that game isn't worth playing anymore, and he just gave up right there.
Yeah, and he also lost 3 Mystic Mines.
Yeah, so his win option was already gone. So let's see. Starting off with Danger, and see is better at sniping Dangers out of the hand.
Yeah.
Is he hitting that Tsuchinoko right there? Let's see.
And earlier we talked about if Dangers should have gotten a hit.
Yeah.
And I think the 3 Dangers that kind of replace themselves, like Nessie, Tsushinoko, and Jackalope, are maybe too strong. I mean, if you hit them, they just search another danger or special another danger or itself. Not like, for example, Bigfoot, who who is not that good to hit for you when you play it.
Of course. Yeah, 100% agree. If you hit the dangers, you obviously have to go for the big 3. That's for sure. Probably Nessie is the best one to hit, I would say. But hitting Jackalope would make sense as well. But also, like, Jackalope is so cool because it's level 3 and it's viable in like Burning Abyss decks and stuff.
Actually, Burning Abyss with Cherubini.
Yeah, right. I just wanted to say that. Like, Cherubini is out and nobody really is playing BA, like, at least not on a competitive level. I'm sure a lot of BA players were like, nice, Cherubini is here, let's go. But seems like they're only rocking locals so far. Because I didn't see a lot of competitive BA decks over the last week really performing well or anything.
Yeah, well, regarding the match, Jonas is just going into his Orcust engine, his Orcust combo. Let's see if Henri has any hand traps, but I think if he had got one, he would have thrown it on Mermaid, right?
Normally you would, yeah, for sure. And also the thing about the Orcust deck, of course it now can set up stuff with the counter trap and so on, but it is still kind of hard when it gets hit by a hand trap. Like, you really struggle when you get that Ash on the Mermaid if you do not have an Orcust monster to discard, and you can really be struggling then. That makes a sense. That makes the deck a whole lot worse, I would say, and maybe not a top contender for the upcoming meta, but that still has to be seen. I think this event, especially, and like Dutch nationals and Spanish nationals, of course, they are really, really important for the player base because it is basically the first big event after the list. And so a lot of people will be picking up their decks depending on these events for the national season. And So you should definitely watch out today, because the top decks of these events will be very, very important. And even if you don't plan on playing them and you rather build your own deck, you should definitely know what the tech cards for the decks are, because you are very likely to face them in the next few weeks for sure. Definitely.
Yeah. And just a tip, some of you might know Ding Kang Pham. He plays the Dutch nationals this weekend, and he said Orcust is sometimes very easy. Just throw one or two hand traps, and yeah, they kind of lose.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Pokemon Star in the chat just says, what is this? Like, basically, when I played Yu-Gi-Oh, there was only like 1 or 2 cards every turn, and you attacked with your monsters and so
Yeah,
on.
good old
And now
times.
it's just, it's just dropping 20 cards, and everybody is playing card after card after card. It does not seem like an interactive game in any way, but
Yeah, and the problem is when you don't know the effects, it just seems like they're swapping
super
cards
random,
all
right?
the time.
Absolutely. But the guys definitely do know what they're doing there, and everything they do there definitely has some kind of sense. And for us as a commentator, it does not really make sense to like explain everything in that combo right there, because these combos are kind of basic. I mean, for somebody that knows 1 or 2 card combos from 10 years ago, it does not seem so basic, but basically this is very basic, and like that Orcus combo has been around for a while. And I would say that in the end, it is a different form of Yu-Gi-Oh nowadays, because
Yes, definitely.
but it's not just super bad. It's like a different fun. Like really, it's a different game.
The game has developed, right? Oh, there's the new Orcus, by the way.
Yeah.
In Gearsu, or just take a look at Henry's face.
He's enjoying
himself. This game is like game 1 did Henry win, and he just did the same thing, just like a heavy turn 1 combo, and now Jonas is doing a heavy turn 1 combo, and Henry doesn't scoop. Maybe he's quite confident with his hand to play around this board.
Yep, because he does not have to worry about Azathoth anymore, so he can go for some monster effects, which could be important right there.
I love how fast Jonas is playing, because he
it's insane.
just knows what to do, and Henry can follow because he knows it as well. So lots of testing has been going on.
Yeah, it's just fun to watch for sure. It's much better for viewers to see somebody performing his combos very fast. And he's ending on Galatea, Time Thief Redoer, and the Rusty Badish, and apparently also on Snag. Oh, he wants to go into Longirsu on top of it. He just these general Orcus Link monsters have gotten so much more important, right? Like Galatea and Longirsu, after the ban of the rank up spell, they're just a lot more viable, and you have to do a lot more with them, and you have to use them very, very carefully, I have to say.
Yeah. So in Jonas' end phase, we can see the Thunder Dragon effect pop up. So in the standby phase, he looks at Henry's deck and steals the material for his Time Wizard, right? Is it Time Wizard? No, it's not. It's not Time Wizard.
Time Wizard is a nice emoticon you can have in our chat box, and Time Wizard is a card that Pokemon Star in the chat probably still remembers, because it is pretty old. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with Time Wizard at the moment because I played so much Speed Duel recently, and yeah, kind of a meme card.
You played a lot of Speed Duel, yeah?
Yeah, sometimes at the locals, and there was also this Speed Duel promo tour, and we played with starter decks from each character, and it was very fun. And I love Joey's deck the most because it's so luck based, and sometimes you just win because of Time Wizard, and sometimes you lose because of Time Wizard.
Yeah. Always a fun thing when your deck is super luck based and you just spill it into your opponent's face. Like, take that. I'm just lucky. Bro, I'm just lucky, and it is enough for you. Yeah, but do you think Speed Duel is a viable format for the future of Yu-Gi-Oh?
I think at the moment the format is still too young,
Yeah.
and also Konami is not giving Speedroll its attention like it does to the regular TCG. But there are many new sets coming out, like every 2 months there are new sets. Next sets are like what are they? Marco Tsunami and the Water Monsters, and new structure decks are coming out, and so on. And at the moment, they're just side events at YCSs and so on. But maybe it becomes even bigger, just like Duel Links did. Yeah, it's the speedroll is kind of like Duel Links, but
in some way, for sure. Yeah.
yeah, but it got bigger and bigger.
Yeah, and do you think it would be a huge boost to the Speed Duel like mechanic if they would do a Speed Duel YCS? That would be kind of cool, right?
It would definitely, I think so.
Yeah.
And larger price support would be nice. So yeah, regarding the match, Jonas activated his second Fog Blade on the Phoenix.
Yeah, you kind of have to do it because otherwise it just goes to the graveyard, right?
Yeah.
So it was kind of forced. But Henry actually is left with not too much in his hand, it seems.
Right.
He went through quite a bit of his resources to get there. And Jonas
in the chat,
even
you asked if he activated both Dark's effects. Jonas started the match, the game. So Henry discarded in Jonas' end phase his Dark because he can.
Exactly,
you can
yeah.
also discard it in your opponent's turn to just search another Dark to your hand.
Yeah, and now
That's how
comes Levianeer, the Chaos Dragon Levianeer.
Yeah, strong card.
Oh, and I was completely wrong. Henry actually has 5 cards left in hand. Woof. So he still has a lot to play with.
Very good. Very, very good. Really.
Yeah. Actually, Babel was targeted with the Phoenix, so he protected his Babel by activating the Fog Blade. Also very important because the Orcus Tower there, the Babel, makes your Orcus monsters in the graveyard quick effects, which can be quite handy. Oh, and Jonas is just chaining. He uses a lot of effects. Yeah, he just realizes, okay, I do not have to detach for cost for the redoer, so I just activate the effect and then we will resolve. Yep. So much stuff going on at the same time, like
just pointing on cards.
yeah, right. And it's kind of hard to follow, but yeah. Oh, for a second I thought he would be putting his cards back into the deck because Henry scooped, but I mean Henry still has quite a few cards in his hand, so it is very likely that he's still able to play.
Does he have any grave resources? I don't think so.
And no, Adam, the trap does not shuffle back monsters. It was just the effect of the time thief redoer.
Yeah.
And when you detach a monster, you can just shuffle back. I think, do you shuffle back a monster or like a face up card from your opponent? Like one of the two, but definitely the effect of time thief redoer led to the Chaos Dragon being sent to the deck for sure.
Okay, so we have a Tsushinoko effect in the end.
Always the 6 first, definitely.
Oh, he hit the
and he hit Tsushinoko. That is the danger hit he wanted. And actually, yeah, he puts the card on top of the deck, meaning he would draw into the Chaos Dragon Livinia again. So hitting, okay, and he will draw into it. Like
but hitting, he can only activate the effect hard once per turn, right?
Of which card?
Levianeer.
Ah, yeah. You're right. Okay. What are we seeing now? It is so crazy that Henry already is through so much, and he's still.
Or maybe he can special summon it again. Let's Let's
Yeah,
look
he
it
can
up.
special it again, but I don't think
Yeah.
he can activate the effect again. So let's see. That's dark, light, and light. And he's just using the effect of one of his banished thunder monsters, I assume. Okay. 3 monsters on board, still cards in hand left. I mean, we knew that Thunder Dragon Danger is a very good deck. It has been performing well in the last format. And it is not really a surprise that it's still able to perform pretty good. And now he was able to get rid of that Orchestrated Babel. It's in the graveyard now. But still, there are a lot of resources in the graveyard for Jonas. So if Jonas is able to get another turn, he might still be able to go off again, right? To actually do stuff. But I mean, Henri can do a lot of damage, and after that, he might still be able to actually set up negates. So
that would be insane.
That would be insane after like playing through double Fogblade and stuff, which seems insane for real.
And Thunder Dragon got also hit by the list, if you remember. Like Summon Sorceress went to 0, and just like did Phantom Skyblaster went to 0 or to 1?
2-1, 2-1.
2-1, yeah. So small hits, but also very important, kind of.
Absolutely, absolutely. So
I also saw Super Poly went to 2. Maybe I mean maybe against Thunder Dragon, but I'm not sure. Like this is he doesn't even play like Colossus anymore. He just goes for link action.
yeah.
So maybe it's more relevant for Salamangreat.
Yeah. The evolution of super polymerization is kind of funny because at the beginning that card was purely used to break Thunder Dragon boards. You played it in like Striker and so on, and there you activated it, and this was really, really good. It really helped you to break Thunder Dragon boards, and especially Striker obviously struggled against Thunder Dragon all the time because they had Colossus. And with the introduction of Salamangreats, actually that card just got insane because in the mirror match that card is so powerful, and also not even just in the mirror match, also when you're playing against that deck and just can take 2 monsters of him and summon a big monster on your own, just super good.
Yeah, that's right.
And so the card got even more powerful, and then Konami decided to actually put it to 2. Like,
yeah,
I would
like a small hit for Salamangreat.
Yeah, I would love to look into their heads there because that card is, and also it's kind of a unfair card, I would say, because the mirror match, people are really complaining when they draw into super polymerization, or like not when they are drawing into super polymerization, but they're always very salty when their opponent draws into super polymerization, because that card really is just basically an auto win in the mirror match, you have to say.
Yeah, the problem is that it's some people call it spell speed 4, that you can't react to it.
Yeah,
it's so strong.
Yeah.
I mean, without this effect, you could just chain your counter trap and negate it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely right. Spell speed 4. Still a thing. Oh, what is happening now? Did he just pass right there? That wouldn't be. I mean, it was Jonas' turn, but it seems like. Oh, is he still? Okay, no, it looks like Jonas is still debating on what to do.
Yeah.
But his position doesn't look too good. Let's see what he can do out of it. He has 2 Fogblades in grave, of course. He has still some Orcus monsters left there as well. Ah, okay. Phantasme came down. That's why Henry was drawing cards. Doesn't make it easier for Jonas, I would say. Also, targeting now becomes harder. Phantasme can react to that.
Yeah. There are quite a few walls. Like Levianier has 3,000. Nessie has 2,700 defense, if I'm not mistaken. And he has to get over that. Okay, so he activates Fogblade to special summon Bardiche.
Yeah, People are wondering how Jonas got his Babel back, but obviously it was its own effect because you can just discard one card to add back Babel from the graveyard, and then you just have it available to you again. And it seems like just a fair trade. But I mean, you can just use these cards that you are pitching to the graveyard pretty well in Orcus decks, so you will get advantage of that. So Babel really, really powerful. Yeah, and it seems like Jonas should be in a good position now. I mean, he has to worry about OTKing right here because there are still quite a few monsters on board. But I think by performing his combos right here, he will have a good board afterwards. And even if he does not kill Henri right here, he should be on a very big board.
Yeah, he can do so much more.
Yeah, exactly. So Badish again on the field, Time Thief Redoer, and Galatea, and Longirsu. So all the cards that he went through in turn 1 are coming back to the field again. And he is using their effects once more. There is the counter trap for the first time. So one more thing to worry about for Henri. And to be fair, like the face of Henri kind of changed to worse. Like he's not too happy right now, it seems like. And Jonas is just carefully going through his combos, and as you said, he's just very, very fast in performing his combos, just knowing what to do every single time.
So Dingirsu gets special summoned into a zone, Badish points to, so he can destroy one monster. Okay.
Oh, and now he just goes Boris Sword and wins, right? Yep, that's how you do it. Henri is packing up his cards. And it is 1-1 between these two very, very skilled players. Nice.
Much more action than in the Mystic Mine game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I kind of enjoyed it because both players really did something and really tried to win this game. Of course, Jonas showed off his turn 1 combo, and then still Henri was able to like kind of compete and to break through his board partly. But then Orcus showed that it is really, really powerful. Even after his board got destroyed, you have all the resources in the graveyard. You can just go off again and just special summon everything back out and go for an OTK. And Boris Sword Dragon performing OTKs since quite a while, since Cybernetic Horizon.
So strong.
Yeah. Boris Sword's the best game ender, says Adam in the chat, and that is probably true.
And soon he will get the reprint, right?
Yeah, was it in Battle of Legends? Wasn't it announced for that?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure.
But yeah, I think it was announced that Boris Sword and Engage. Like that was a huge announcement.
Yeah, Engage, right.
In Battle of Legends.
But the prices didn't drop that hard, right?
I was surprised of that as well.
Yeah, I think Boris Sword is still at 65 euros.
Yeah, absolutely. Because everybody needs it for national season. And it is super weird because I mean, it will be reprinted and will obviously be reprinted in Secret Rare again, which is like Leo and me have been talking about that a lot. Like printing a card.
Yeah, in the same rarity again. It's strange. Battles of Legends, Heroes Revenge. Thanks, Ninja Phil.
And I mean, it really is so clever of Konami, I would say, to release a product right after all the nationals happened. So you cannot use your cheap, or I mean, quote unquote cheap. I don't know how cheap Boris Sword will be because it is still a very powerful card and it might still be kind, but it will be cheaper than 65 euros, I would assume. And yeah, that will be available to you for, I guess, the next YCS then, but not for the nationals. That's really, really hard.
When will they release Battles of Legends? Do you know?
I think it is the end of July or start of August, something around that.
Oh, that's way too late. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, so we can see they're going into game 3.
Our friends in
think-
chat, if you know the exact release date of
Yeah.
Heroes Revenge, just tell us again.
I
So we
think
can
Henry
tell
now
you.
starts again
I would
and-
think so, yeah.
and doing his guard dragon stuff. Yeah, he goes first with Allure. 12th of July. All right.
Okay, that's
Before
before
Euros.
news. That's
That's
nice news for
actually-
you, right?
It's actually cool, yeah.
Good news, good news. Yeah, I actually sold a Bowl Sword like 3 weeks ago, and I sent it by post, obviously, and it still hasn't reached the customer, which is very,
Well,
very hard. And
I sent one at the start of this week, and 3 days later it arrived in the UK, so kind of questionable.
yeah, definitely, yeah, I had to make some phone calls already with the post office and stuff, and
Yeah, cool.
I would probably get refunded, and he will get refunded and everything, but it's just nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Why can't they just send it? And I mean, we have tracking number and everything, and you can look up the tracking status online, and it just says, yeah, on the 16th of May, no, of April, obviously, it was delivered to the post office. And I'm like,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I know that. But what happened afterwards? Like, quite some
I
time
think
has passed since that.
I had the same problem. Funnily, with a Boral sword as well. And when it says it arrived at the post office, it's still at the post office. That was in Sweden, and 2 months later, it got sent back to me, and I had to pay 10 euros.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's the definition of fun.
So yeah, Henry goes again with his combo.
Oh
He
yeah,
has
and
a Wyver Burster.
Wyver Boston, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to see some Guard Dragon stuff.
And look at the face of Jonas. He was just
Yeah, it switched this time.
Yep. Icentrix, you are right. This is a one-day regional, and usually regionals are only one-day events. I mean, even the German Open, which was just insanely big, over 600 players, was a one-day event because regionals are designed to be one-day events, and
Yeah.
so this will be a one-day event as well. But we have 8 rounds of Swiss today, which is quite
Yeah.
a lot. So you
No
can
top
still
cut,
see a lot
but
of you.
8 rounds, yeah.
Exactly. No top cut in regionals. That's also the norm.
Yeah.
And we see a little over 8 minutes being left on the clock. Could that be a factor that Henry isn't able to perform his combos in that time? We saw him playing very fast, but it might be if Jonas has stuff to play with in his hand and needs some time for his plays, this might become a factor.
Right. Okay. Just imagine Jonas throwing no material on Phoenix. You know the new card?
Oh,
The
yeah. Yeah, we haven't seen it yet, but it's such a powerful card, and it's just
Yeah, I wish to see it.
yeah, really, it seems so powerful in theory, and we were really hyped when that card was announced, and when we saw the text, the spoilers, and everything, and we were like, shit, that's a very, very good card.
Yeah,
It's
I
not-
think the community was kind of split. 50% said, "Wow, this card is insane," and the other 50% were like, "Nah, it's not that good to be played in the competitive scene."
Yep. That kind of a similar thing happened to Infinite Impermanence. At the release of Infinite Impermanence, everybody was like, yeah, is it really that good? It just doesn't seem as good as Evenly or something. And then a lot of the top players actually started to play the card, and everybody realized, okay, Infinite Impermanence is just very, very
And
good.
the prices went up.
And it just went uphill from there on, for sure, yeah.
I remember back in the good old days, at the sneak peek of, was it Duelist Alliance with Dante, Traveler of the Burning Abyss?
Yeah, that
And
was Duelist
people were
Alliance.
buying Dantes for 20 euros, and 1 week later, its price was 70 euros. That's insane.
That was a good deal, I would say. Yeah, actually, Jonas is playing August, so He's eagerly waiting to perform some combos, but that seemed like kind of a. Did Jonas just cheer right there? Like, yeah, you misplayed or something?
Yeah, sometimes I think he's like, yay, I can't do anything. He's
Yeah, true. That
that's
seems
sarcastic
accurate.
sometimes.
That seems accurate for Jonas, definitely.
And
So
many people also thought Zaryuya would go to 1,
yeah.
so you can't go off with the combo. Well, but it didn't, right? Or did it?
No.
It
Saria
didn't.
didn't get hit at all.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting. Like Saryuya's price also started to increase again because everybody expected it to get hit, but then it wasn't touched at all. And I do actually think that Saryuya would have been a good hit. You should have
Yeah,
called it
me too.
Saryuya because it really enables too much and is. When you think about FTKs in general, Saryuya is a card that comes to your mind very fast in nowadays Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
When you're thinking about danger FTKs and so on. So I think hitting Saryuya would have been pretty good.
Oh yeah, I remember the crazy slash draw FTK piloted
Yeah, of course.
by Joshua Schmidt.
Yep. Was it
FTK decks are worse than Mystic Mine.
Yeah, it was Milan, right? Where he actually
Yes,
invented that,
yeah,
and
I
then
think so.
I remember like a lot of people coming to me. Did you hear or see that new FTK by Joshua
Yeah.
Schmidt? Because everybody thought like FTKs are kind of done because Firewall was finally gone.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, Joshua came right around the corner and was like, slash draw, hello,
Yeah,
here
surprise, mother rockers. I still got an FTK for you.
Yep. But it turned out that that wasn't as consistent as he would have liked it to be because he didn't win the event. I mean, he topped with the deck, but he didn't win it. And
Yeah.
afterwards, like, nobody really played the deck anymore. Like, people realized that the format is just much more controlly and decided against all the very FTKE decks because there were
Yeah.
some, like, also that Arcane Force deck that was topping in the USA, I think, where
Oh
you had
God.
like Arcane Force, the word, and then you had that card that says every time you flip a coin, it just says hat. I mean, you had that weird setup, but it just meant that you had another turn and then you could attack with your monsters. On, I think that was just stupid.
Yeah.
I didn't really like that. Icentric says that he thinks that Saryuya will have another reprint, so it will be the same reason like Sky Striker. So Konami wants to milk Saryuya once more, and they want to have it as a strong reprint product for another product. Yeah. So people are buying Megatins or something like that because there is a Saryuya in super rare in it. Might be possible. Yeah. Could be true.
Okay, look at the clock. They just have 2 minutes and 40 seconds left.
Yeah.
Oh, there's this armor fate. Yeah,
Stuff, right?
Goliath.
Goliath. Yeah, it must be Goliath. Yeah.
So neither player can special summon from the extra deck, or is it just his opponent?
I think it is. Oh, that's a good question. Like, definitely you can only summon Amophage monsters from the extra deck.
Yes.
So that is obviously kind of harsh for Jonas because how many attack points does that Goliath has? I think it is pretty big.
I think it's around 2,400.
Right around that Monarch mark.
Yeah. Let's look it up.
Oh, he hit called. Not too cool.
Okay, he has 2,750.
Oh, and there's Pankratops. Okay, so he might be able to perform damage. How much attack points does he have?
Goliath has 2,750 and Pankratops just has 2,600, so he can't run over it. But he can run over Saryuya or Crash. No, not. How many attack points does Saryuya have?
Good question. But he wasn't in battle phase yet, but How did he get rid of both monsters there?
I think he ran over Zariuya and then activated the quick effect of Pankratops
Oh
to
yeah,
pop
right. So he
the
has
Goliath.
2,500 attack points, meaning Henry has 100 damage. And yeah, maybe Henry should have performed a few more combos, because right now it looks like Jonas will win this match by 100 life points, which is really unfortunate for Henry, of course. Oh yeah, obviously we missed out on Pankratops actually getting that boost by Seryuya. Yeah, of course.
Right.
Pankratops was at
Thank you, guys.
2,900 attack points. Yeah, so obviously Seryuya has 2,800, and then after the boost, Pankratops was at 2,900 attack points, and so he could just run over it. Ooh, that was perfect.
And Henry has 100 life points less than Jonas.
That's so sad for him right
10
there.
seconds before the timeout.
Ah, that is really unfortunate.
Very, very skillful to remember this attack boost from Saryuya. Very good.
Not like us, yeah.
Yeah, not like us.
We're just like, yep, he can probably run over there. There's the handshake. Timeout was called. It is the win for Jonas Koschel, and look at his smiling face. And he also knows, like, yeah, that was kind of lucky that I had that Pankratops right there, because otherwise it could have been kind of hard to actually perform there.
But that's the proof that you don't always win when you go first, even if you play a combo deck.
Yeah, definitely. And Jonas actually not losing here because of timeout issues, as he did against Thomas Rose. He learned from his mistakes and he actually attacked right there.
Yeah, right. I remember.
So he did everything right. And yeah, it's kind of funny because if these guys would have played in round 8, do you think Henry would have given Jonas a win because of word points?
Well, I think officially you aren't allowed to give someone the win, right?
You can just admit defeat. You can. In German Open we had the same situation where Max Fröbel just they didn't even play. He just admitted defeat right before the game against Adrian. And
I remember a situation when I played in London last year, and my opponent first round was only there to go to the Comic-Con, because when you visited the YCS, you could also visit the Comic-Con. And he just said, yeah, I'll give you the win. I'm just here because of the Comic-Con. And then a judge noticed that, and we had to go to the head judge, and he said, okay, this is one last time, and I'll make an exception, and so on. And I was kind of confused because I'm sometimes judging myself, and I didn't know about these rules. Maybe I'm still wrong. I'm not sure. But I mean, coming back to your question, I think Henry would have given Jonas the win. Probably. They're in the same team. They're close friends. I think so.
Henry does not have a shot on word points top 8, right?
Yeah, right.
So it just makes sense. And I mean, yeah, okay. Like, it then gets kind of iffy, because if you start talking about prize splittings, I think then it becomes kind of
right. And intentional draw was also the problem, right?
Yeah. And I think what Max did at the German Open was to actually just admit defeat completely and just give him the win. And also then Adrian just got all the prizes, which is super kind of Max, obviously. Like, really, really cool from him. And yeah, that was the case there. But you shouldn't talk about prizes, at least not when the judges is hearing it.
Yeah.
But I mean, probably Adrian allowed Max to play with his PlayStation like 1 or 2 times. So yeah, guys, that was round 2 for you of the JK Regional in Frankfurt. And we have 6 more rounds to go. And right now we will go into break. And I hope to see all of you again for the next round. I mean, we went into timeout right now, so it shouldn't be too long. I guess around 15 minutes or something like that. We should be back. But you will notice, keep your eyes open, and then we will see you again. See ya.